Welcome back to The New Life, A Better Way to Health, Part 8. This seminar is not meant to replace medical advice. It is not intended to provide personalized medical advice in any way. The material presented in this seminar is for general educational and informational purposes only. Welcome back to our 8th week of Going from Sickness to Health, learning the 10 principles of the new life. Today's principle and the health benefits that you can enjoy from following this principle is going to surprise you. But first, let's begin as we always do with our short but comprehensive understanding of disease and what causes it. Sickness and disease are an effort of nature to free the system from conditions that result from a violation of the laws of health. Each week, we have determined that disease is not necessarily a bad thing. It can also be a warning sign, which is good. Now, problem is that we often ignore nature's efforts to free the system from the conditions that have been resulting from violating the principles we've been sharing. Any hint of sickness or disease should arouse an individual to make decided changes to prevent it from ever happening. Is it truly better to give than to receive, even for your health? Have you ever given a gift or given of your time and felt this sense of euphoria? Well, this is because there is a physiological reaction in the body associated with investing in other people. Let's look into this. Point number 1. The pleasure of doing good to others imparts a glow to the feelings, which flashes through the nerves, quickens the circulation of the blood, and induces mental and physical health. E.G. White. Helping others provides many benefits to the giver, including happiness and a glow in and around us. Circulation is improved. Let's look at some other benefits to our health.
Before I went traveling, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I thought I'd dedicate a little bit of time to other people.
There is a quote that says, "There is no better exercise for your heart than reaching down and helping to lift someone up." And you know, giving back to others is a way many people find a sense of direction and bring a purpose to their lives.
I was looking after children during the day whose parents weren't coping, and just seeing their faces when you can actually do something to make them smile was just the most phenomenal feeling.
By focusing on others, people can feel a rush of euphoria followed by a longer period of calm. A number of studies have shown that people who volunteer actually have lower levels of stress hormones.
Mary and Cindy and Christy. And you all volunteer in one way or another.
Yes, we do.
You're all working with children. What's so great about giving back? Why do you do it?
To give back to the community that gave me so much. I'm a second generation immigrant, so it feels good to give back.
And I think it makes you more grateful for what you have and want to somehow share that with others.
Christy volunteered overseas.
I was actually living on a ship and going from port to port and distributing literature for families that couldn't afford maybe to go and buy books at the local bookstores, and it was great. It changed my life.
How so?
I became, I think, a different person in the sense that I started looking at other people and what they needed and started looking outside of myself.
Over the past 2 decades, we've seen a growing body of research that shows volunteering provides individual health benefits in addition to social benefits. This research has established a strong relationship between volunteering and health. Those who volunteer have lower mortality rates and lower rates of depression later in life than those who do not volunteer.
When you don't make it about you, the journey for me has been wonderful.
Earlier this year, we met Maureen, who's giving back within her own family.
I take care of my mom who lives with me, who's 94 this month. So 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, doing it for 5 years. I've learned a lot about life, dignity, the quality of life, I've watched my mom age very gracefully.
For more than a decade, Maureen has cared for family and friends in their journey to the end of life. Her mom now has dementia, and Maureen's ability to care for her is precious.
Has the giving back changed your quality of life?
Absolutely, because the time I've had with her, there's been lots of healing. It's the ability to give back to someone who took care of you.
You know, after I led a medical group to assist during the Haiti earthquake, so many people came up to me and said, "I wish I were a doctor or a nurse so I could do something." Well, I say, you don't have to have a medical degree. There are so many ways to give back. Find a cause that moves you and just get involved.
It made me realise that I couldn't just do an office job for the rest of my life, so I decided to study medicine. So now I'm halfway to being a doctor. So it's really changed my life.
Investing time in others improves mental and physical health and increases longevity. Investing time in others also lowers hypertension, a risk factor in type 2 diabetics. And investing time in others also, via volunteering, is shown to lower cardiovascular disease risk factors.
The Health Beat this morning, the benefits of giving. Marissa sat down with Dr. Barry Ramo to find out how volunteering can actually improve your health.
Dr. Ramo, you are a busy man, yet you still find time to volunteer some of your time. Tell us about the foundation that you actually volunteer for, and there are health benefits associated with that.
Well, that's absolutely right. Well, last year I became the president of the Albuquerque Community Foundation, and it's sort of a unique group. A lot of people don't know about it, but we give away about $2 million a year to a whole variety of things, particularly health-related things. And that's what I want to talk about with Marissa this morning, because what we're finding is that being a volunteer and giving of yourself actually benefits your health.
Oh my goodness. I think, in what ways?
Well, I'll tell you 2 major studies, but actually there are probably 20 or 30 studies that show this. But a study from my alma mater, Duke, found that people who had heart attacks, who volunteered in some way, some philanthropic way, whether they gave money or they gave their time, had a reduced incidence of depression and anxiety. And we know that if you have a reduced amount of depression and anxiety after your heart attack, you have fewer heart attacks later on.
So in terms of staying healthy, it's not only diet and exercise, but also giving of yourself a little bit. And it doesn't have to be monetary.
That's right, absolutely. It doesn't have to be monetary, although I have to tell you, as president of the Community Foundation, we like to generate people who put money into a fund which then generates interest for the rest of your life and also goes on when you're gone. So it's very important to give a gift that keeps on giving. But what we've found and what researchers have found is that people who do that have less depression and they live longer. So I think there are real health benefits for people who do engage in philanthropic efforts. Now, we're having a luncheon at the Hotel Albuquerque on the 29th of October. And Mr. Needleman, who is the founder of JetBlue and one of the great entrepreneurs in this country, is going to talk about the importance of philanthropy. So I'm very excited about it, and I think if any of the viewers are interested in this, I'd consider the idea of giving of your time, and of course, if you can afford it, giving of your money, in order to improve your health. I'll tell you about diet and exercise, but also think about giving some of your time and energy and your creativity.
Well, no doubt it would make you feel good. So it's kind
absolutely.
of a little endorphin.
I think that's exactly right.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Ramo.
Thank you.
Point number 2. Again, assisting others is good for cardiovascular health. Point number 3. When we are kind to others, endorphins and serotonin neurotransmitters are released, which produce a direct high or feel-good response within the nervous system and decreases stress. Did you ever imagine that doing good to others stimulates endorphins? Point number 4. Caring for others activates circuits in the brain that are not active during negative emotions like hate or hostility. We're going to take a look into clinical studies which show specifically what areas of the brain are activated when we give. Let's take a look at our next video.
Is it true I'll gain weight if I don't sleep enough?
Is it true taking zinc will help make my cold go away?
Is it true eating raw cookie dough will make you sick?
Is it true I'll go deaf listening to loud music?
WSJ answers your everyday health questions. Today we ask, is it true giving is good for your health? We turn to Stephen Post, author of The Hidden Gifts of Helping, for the answer. He says that while there isn't strong evidence that the act of buying a present for someone makes you a healthier person, a general spirit of generosity has been shown to be good for both your mental and physical well-being. Giving comes in many forms, including lending a hand, donating to charities, or buying gifts, all of which Dr. Post says have healthy rewards. And it doesn't take much to reap them. In an article to be published in the International Journal of Person-Centered Medicine, Dr. Post gives a roundup of research showing the link between health, happiness, and helping others. Giving to charities and buying gifts for other people can help you feel happier rather than spending on yourself, he writes. Researchers have found that people who spend their bonuses on others were happier than those who spent money on themselves. The way they spent their bonuses was also a better predictor for happiness than the actual amount of the bonus. But giving more doesn't necessarily equal greater happiness. One study randomly gave participants between $5 and $20 and then assigned them to spend the money on themselves or others. The amount of money they spent had no impact on their reported happiness, but those who had been assigned to give reported greater levels of happiness than those who had been assigned to buy something for themselves. Even thinking about giving can make a person feel good. Researchers studying cognitive and emotional health found that when people thought about giving to charities, it activated the thinker's mesolimbic pathway, the brain's reward center. This part of the brain regulates the feel-good neurotransmitter dopamine and is responsible for feelings of joy and happiness. Thinking about donating also activated the ventral striatum, a region of the brain associated with feelings of satisfaction and reward. Volunteering just a few hours a week to help someone else has also been found to improve physical and emotional health. A 2010 survey of about 4,500 people found volunteers had less trouble sleeping and less anxiety when compared to those who don't volunteer. The volunteers also said they felt less helpless or hopeless, and that they had better friendships and better control over chronic conditions. Earlier studies have shown that people who volunteered at least once a week lived longer and had better physical functioning. The reason behind these benefits? Selflessness and kindness appear to offset negative emotions like bitterness, rage, and loneliness, which cause stress and exacerbate stress-related illnesses such as cardiac disease, asthma, diabetes, or depression. So a personalized gift that focuses your attention on someone else may be just what you need to beat the holiday blues. When giving, Dr. Post says, know your limits. Compassion fatigue can undo the health benefits of giving, including causing stress and depression along with straining close relationships. He adds that motives do matter and that sincere giving is crucial. So whether it's giving to the neediest or to your nearest and dearest, Dr. Post says, be a cheerful giver. For the Wall Street Journal, I'm Christina Suey.
Point number 5. According to info in the video, those who assist others for self-serving purposes do not experience the same feel-good response or reduce stress as those who invest time in others out of genuine care. Point number 6. Kind acts like volunteering or serving others may also lower high blood pressure. High blood pressure is a precursor to so many other lifestyle diseases. Imagine that by volunteering, you can actually be preventative with your health. Want a better outlook on your career and work? Help your colleagues. Notice what survey numbers say. According to a study by United Healthcare and Volunteer Match, spending time with others and volunteering benefits the giver in a variety of ways. Of the participants surveyed, 68% felt healthier physically, 29% who suffered a chronic illness were better able to manage their condition, 73% felt less stress, and more than 75% had a better outlook towards the organization they worked for. Point number 7. Volunteering has been shown to lessen symptoms of chronic pain or heart disease. Point number 8. Selflessly helping others in tangible ways not only protects our health, but also helps us to live longer. With all of the evidence we've seen, could it be possible that investing time in other people actually lengthens our lives? Let's take a look at our next video for yet another piece of clinical evidence.
And finally, looking to live a little longer, laugh a little more, well, tonight we're going to let you in on a little secret. The fountain of youth, that ticket to happiness, might be as simple as being kind to others. Here's ABC's Dan Harris.
Check out what happens to your brain when you give to charity. Studies show that people who give or volunteer are less depressed, have lower blood pressure, and live longer.
For a majority of people, they actually get more pleasure in these pleasure centers of the brain when they give than when they get.
Those are the same pleasure centers that are lit up when you have sex, when you fall in love, and when you eat candy. Even girls who aren't.
New York Times columnist Nick Kristof and his wife, the writer Cheryl Wu Dunn, have written a new book called A Path Appears, in which they issue a challenge to all of us. If we want to have a truly fulfilled life, we must give back.
What a lot of people feel there's not much I can do, especially when I look at the intractable nature of the problems out there.
Any one individual can't solve a problem in its entirety, but one individual can have a transformative impact.
For 50 cents, you can deworm a child, preventing a lifetime of health problems. For $50, you can buy 20 books for a child, dramatically boosting their odds of educational attainment.
You're just saying, just do a little bit more.
Absolutely. We really do think that if you fold it into your life, it really becomes a part of your life.
Make giving a habit, they say, because we now know that it not only helps others, but it also helps you. Dan Harris, ABC News, New York.
Make giving a habit. Good advice for all of us this Sunday night. Nick Kristof's new series, A Path Appears, airs on PBS in January.
The value of a man should be seen in what he gives and not in what he is able to receive. Albert Einstein. Throughout this program of going from sickness to health, you have been challenged to do something every day that will have an impact on someone else's day. Our friends and social circles are important and good for our health. May investing time in others become habit forming, so that it becomes a part of our lives. It will be good for our health. We'd like to thank you for attending this week's session on Invest Time in Others. And always remember, your health is your choice.